Hey there, this is Shaheen from ShaheenWeeklyInsights.com, and I am doing the weekly intuitive forecast for this upcoming week of June the 12th. So we're going to look at the flow of energy, what we can expect, and how to work with that energy in order to have a beautiful and empowering week. So I hope that you're doing well and that you're ready to start this beautiful week with lots of good intentions. So let's look at the cards that come up. The first card that we have is the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is really a card that talks about resting, laying something to rest, and taking time for yourself. So when this week begins, you might want to consider how to take it easy, how to rest. Maybe it's sleeping some extra time if you can, or giving yourself some flexibility in your schedule. But the thing that comes up with this that I'm feeling is it's almost like you need to either make a decision to rest or you're going to be forced to rest. So that might mean that you get sick. It might mean that some kind of a setback happens that makes you have to stay at home and take your time and take things slower. So choose to slow down, choose to relax, give yourself a couple of hours to play and just take things easy throughout the week, but especially as the week begins. It's also talking about something that's been laid to rest, not being completely over. So if something that you've been working on felt like it lost momentum, or the door was closed, or it never really went anywhere, as this week begins, in those moments of resting, relaxation, and in solitude, you're going to gain insight and information on how to start again, how to get things moving, how to gain some momentum, and how to move forward. The second card that we have is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is talking about spending time at home, blessing your home. And whenever I see this, I always get this impression that there's a kind of a passage that's happened, sort of like whether it's a ceremony of some kind, an anniversary, but it's almost like there's a rite of passage that's happened. And as this week is unfolding, there's again going to be this need, this desire, and the invitation, from what it seems like, to be at home or to be in relaxed spaces and to partake in that beautiful energy of just being comfortable and being in the experience of bliss. So I love this card, and I love that there's also this connection here of spending time with other people in a way that is still relaxing or is still resting. So keep that in mind. The third card we have is the Hierophant. And I just see him as being a blessing for moving forward in some way. A lot of times he'll come up when we're dealing with tradition and kind of breaking away, or dealing with the constructs of tradition or of systems and sort of bigger ideas. But what I'm feeling is that he's blessing this path forward. I see the keys down here, and I see this as being the invitation to go in a new direction. And these two gentlemen here feel like they're a passage through, like they're guides or guardians to this next thing. So I feel like this week is going to be about moving from one state to the other in whatever way that means for you. And in doing that, there's an ease and a flow that happens, but it also is a rebirth or a change or a shift in identity, where you're connecting with something that has been forgotten about or had been laid to rest, but you're also bringing it back to life in a new way and moving in a new direction or a new flow down a new path. I also feel like there's something celebratory about this. So it could be that part of this, there's a commitment that's happening and something that's showing up in your life, whether it's you're being um, given confirmation on a job that you're wanting to take, a house that you're wanting to buy, or maybe this is about a marriage ceremony, but there's this confirmation and this kind of sealing the deal and kind of starting this new path that you're going down. So these are some beautiful energies. So another thing that I want to do, I get lots of really interesting emails and comments on my website, and I love to answer everybody's questions and to help direct you in whatever way that I can to information, articles, or just giving confirmation about what it is that you're experiencing or going through or questioning. But I had someone that asked me an interesting question, which has come up before, and I would like to just read that here and just address it here. So we're gonna do that, and I've gotten permission to do this. So this gentleman asked a question about sparkles and seeing lights, you know, little sparkles of light, orbs, little beams. And he says, I am 53, and just recently, over the last couple of months, I have been seeing multiple light orbs. It all started one night as I was getting into bed. There was a huge flash, like a camera flash, and I saw a long white streak of light with three white triangles at its leading edge. The triangles were side by side and about the size of a matchbox. Seconds after that, a ball of yellow light crossed the room from wall to wall. The light had a kind of fizzy atmosphere all around it. It disappeared into the wall opposite. Every night following this, I have seen bright balls of light flitting around the room and blotches of colored light on the walls and ceilings. I know it sounds insane, but I have been staying awake at night to see them. I've tried talking to them, but I feel I am just talking to myself. Over the last 2 weeks, the lights have become less bright. I can see them on occasion, but they are dull and difficult to see. They seem to have gone completely now, as I have not seen them for about a week. It sounds silly, but I had become used to them and enjoyed them. Now I cannot see them anymore, and I feel a little abandoned by them. Why did I suddenly start to see these things and then lose them? Could I have done something wrong to them? Do you think they might come back? If so, is there anything I should do or not do? So I really liked this question because I feel that many people see beads of light, sparkles, flashes, and I know I do as well. And a lot of times we're very perplexed about what it is, why we're seeing it, what purpose it serves, and how to interact with it. I don't think that there's a right answer as to what the lights are, because it depends on the time, the context, and the person. But what I find in my own readings and when I'm working with clients, which I really love, is these lights appear when a guide or an ancestor or someone in spirit is showing up. And a lot of times I will see them blue or white lights, especially that flash or blink or appear and start to kind of transform in some way to give me confirmation about things that I'm receiving, feeling, saying, or vice versa with the client. So I do believe from my experience that these lights are manifestations of energy, and it's almost like they are the physical or the visual component to a vibration that is around. So it's not that there's like a being standing in front of you and you need to speak with it and that's why it's there. It's almost like you're seeing something that's happening on a vibratory level. And that might mean that you're receiving other information that is coming from that light, but maybe not at all. So the other part of it is that we see these energies manifesting because they're always around us. There's always energy manifesting, blooming, growing. Everything is energy, so there's always streams of energy that are all around everywhere. So when you're seeing them, it might be that you're more aware at the time. It might be that you've let down your guard. It might be that the energy is particularly strong and is trying to tell you something. It might be that you're in a place of high activity. Some other things that affect it are cosmic or planetary things such as the full moon. Some things that we experience are when we're in the receptive mode, when we first wake up, when we're getting ready to go to sleep, when we've been out of our heads a little bit, daydreaming, when we've really been working on ourselves and our kind of third eye is growing, or it's really strong, or it's really open. So my answer is that you didn't do anything wrong. That you were very perceptive at the time, and maybe even asking for the presence of these energies to show up to you. I feel that they're still around you, and look for new ways to understand or to notice their presence. And I feel for you personally, for your question, that there was a connection here to someone that had passed on that feels like a woman. So I don't know if there was a wife or another family member who passed on that was a female, but this feels like there's a connection here to a woman. And I think that the energies were not necessarily her specifically, but it had something to do with her presence, her passing, her assimilation and getting comfortable in the next realm, wherever that might be for her. So pay attention to that. I also see them sometimes as thought forms. Someone has a thought form and you just kind of see it floating out of their head or floating into their head. So we are powerful beings. We're very powerful, and our thoughts and our feelings generate an energetic, a magnetic, an electrical, if you will, charge that vibrates through the atmosphere. So sensitive people can see those things, and we're always interacting with them. You might be walking down the street and suddenly you just feel this blah feeling. Well, you might have been hit by a negative thought that was floating by, So it's hard to distinguish what they are without knowing the exact situation or what's happening at the time. But all in all, it's energy. You're seeing the visual component of a vibration around you. So I hope that helps. All right, if you have questions and you have something you would like me to answer or address, feel free to send it to me. You can use the contact form on my website, ShaheenWeeklyIntuitive.com, or you can leave a comment and let me know what your question is, and I would love to answer it. Now, I like to have questions that are able to facilitate insight for everybody listening. So anything that you think other people might also have a question about is beautiful. But send your questions, send your comments, send your concerns. Let's look at them. And if you would like to set up your own private intuitive guidance session, you can do that. You can visit me at ShaheenWeeklyIntuitive.com, use the contact form, and we will make some magic happen. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.